Hello, welcome to the Fulhamish quick take after Fulham's 2-1 victory over Wolves. We're on the train back from Wolverhampton and I'm joined by George Cooper. Hello.
Hello, Sammy, you alright?
Yeah, good, thank you. Definitely got premium economy tickets, don't we?
Yeah, I believe so. Just hope the ticket man doesn't come down anytime soon. Within the next sort of like 10 to 15 minutes, I think we should be fine. But
We'll blag it with some boyish charm, won't we?
yeah, we'll try our best. Hopefully he's not a Wolves fan, that's the only issue. But
Hopefully not. A brilliant win tonight, George. I tried to sell you the dream. A trip to Wolverhampton on a Tuesday night. You took a little bit of convincing, but eventually I managed to get you up. And I bet now you're very glad you made the journey.
Oh yeah, I was very much teetering on the it's a long way to go on a Tuesday night, but I mean, and especially after the performance that we put in against Crystal Palace, you're thinking, oh, it's not looking good. And when the team sheet came out as well, it looked like Marco's eyes were firmly on the cup. But it was a tactical decision. It was a lineup, and it paid off beautifully. It was a really, really good performance, and we did what we needed. And we were saying, like, after the Sess goal, the trip was already worth it, basically. So that was great day all round, and it kind of reminds me of the sort of like midweek championship away days that we used to do, and that was a decent night all round.
And George, before you mentioned the lineup, it was experimental from Marco. Kind of looked like a little bit he might have one eye on the cup, which I really rate. But in the modern day, when the Premier League is worth so much money, every kind of league place is millions of pounds. I wasn't expecting that from Marco, but I think it's great. I think it's really refreshing. The game on Sunday is huge, and also we've got a squad. It's worth using.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of wonder whether, yes, we've got Man U in the Cup on Sunday, but whether the rotation was partly due as a bit of a kick up the arse for some of the players, or maybe just rest. I mean, a lot of our players look absolutely knackered, and it's great that we got the strength and depth that we do, and it was just perfectly game managed this game today. But obviously we've got the early goal from Sess, and then the early goal in the second half from Muniz, and then to be able to have the players that we brought on to really sort of get the stranglehold on the game and see the game out, it was perfectly managed. I thought our game management today was excellent.
Let's come on to the moment of the game. It was within the first 60 seconds. Ryan Sessegnon scoring at the far end. A brilliant ball from Andreas Pereira, it's got to be said. And it was such a flashback. I felt like I was in that 2017-18 year when obviously Sessegnon burst onto the scene. Look, Sessegnon, is he the best left back in the world? Probably not, but I just backed him. As soon as I saw that he was through on goal, I knew this was going in one place and one place only, and that was in the bottom corner. He's just got ice running through his veins when he's in that position, when he's bearing down on goal. You almost can't teach it.
Yeah, the thing that Sessegnon is so good at is his timing of runs and his attacking positioning, and if he does get the opportunity to get put on through as he did, through on goal as he did, a beautiful ball from Andreas Pereira as well, has to be said. Really good move, in fact. It was Muniz holding the ball up to Pereira, through ball through to Sess, and you just know it's going in. And we were stood in the row in front of Liz, who is Ryan Sessegnon's biggest fan, and the squeal that she let out, where it was like she already knew what was happening, like when he was through on goal, left foot, side netting. We've seen it so many times, and it felt nostalgic is the only word that I can describe. And we sort of turned to each other as that goal went in, and we were like, it's already worth the trip, isn't it? It's already worth the trip. What a moment.
Yeah, Elizabeth is on the Thursday Club this week, and I am pretty sure that 90% of the show is just going to be talking about Ryan Sessegnon, because
sure.
she does absolutely love him, and it was a hell of a moment, and for her to be there to see it, her favourite player, it was quite something. Fulham did lose a little bit of control in the first half. I felt like when the goal eventually came, you could hardly say it hadn't been coming. Wolves been knocking on the door relentlessly. Cunha was getting more and more dangerous. So, it just felt like I do agree with you that we managed the game well, definitely in the second half, but I felt like we didn't take advantage of the fact that we'd got an early goal. I felt like we rested on it too much, and we allowed Wolves to have the confidence to actually hit us, and eventually they hurt us.
Yeah, I mean, it was a frustrating goal. I think it was Traore it was Castagna and Traore defending on that right hand side, and Traore sort of lost his runner on the overlap, which then led to the cross in there. And also I can't remember who it was. I think it may have been Sessegnon had a sort of half chance to clear it and sort of bobbled in, and then eventually fell to Gomez, didn't it, who just blasted it in. It felt a very preventable goal. I agree with you that it felt like it was coming, and we just let the momentum slip back in Wolverhampton's favour. So like going into half time 1-1 felt about fair, but yeah, it was all us second half though. I thought the Muniz goal, which I'm sure we'll come on to, just really sort of took the wind out of Wolves' sails, and it was only one we were winning. They didn't have a threat. I think Cunha had a sort of chance that Leno tipped over, but other than that, I think it was all Fulham second half. Would you agree?
I 100% agree, and I want to come on to the Muniz goal because it was just delicious. We were trying to do some research on the train just now. Has there ever been a time where Fulham have scored within the opening 90 seconds of both halves? If it's happened, I reckon maybe once in the annals of history, but I can't remember. Yeah. It doesn't happen very often.
I can't think of a single. Who is the fellow? Alex, yeah, who was just sat on the train with. He said that Fulham have only scored in the Premier League within the first minute of a game 6 times, which is quite. It just shows how rare it is. But to do it for the first minute of both first and second half, yeah. Where's Opsa Joe when you need him?
Not on this train.
Not on this train. Yeah.
But it's an amazing ball from Adama Traore, and the finish from Muniz. Rodrigo Muniz is just a box of tricks. He has every finish in the locker, and it is that kind of coolness that just does make me think that we haven't unearthed it fully yet, but inside there is a great striker, because only a great striker could have the gumption, the vision to dink it quite so provocatively.
Yeah, the weight of Traore's pass, we were just watching the highlights back now, it is perfect. It's like a beautifully weighted snooker shot. It's just like if it was an ounce more on that, then the defender sweeps in and gets it, or it's just out of Muniz's reach, but it just falls to his path. He can take it in his stride first time. I could have sworn he was going to take it around the keeper, which then obviously would have given the Wolves centre backs a little bit more time to slide in and sort of, you're backing him to score in that position, but to take it as sweetly and as sort of instinctively as he does, I agree with what you're saying, that it was a pure striker's finish. Who was it that was saying it was a bit of a FIFA goal?
I said that. It just had that kind of like triangle L1 look to it. I just feel like generally goals don't get scored like that, where you just get that kind of just really standard perfect through ball where it stops perfectly for the striker, then you dink it. It is the kind of goal you scored as a kid on FIFA. It just doesn't, I don't feel like that kind of goal generally happens in real life, but hey, tonight it did.
Yeah, it happened on 2 occasions, because obviously the first goal was that through ball. It was where we were getting a lot of joy from was getting in behind, and we had many chances to put the game, fully to bed. Raul really should have scored with that opportunity where he was through on goal. Again, that was another ball that we were just finding a lot of joy, sort of the running behind the lines and just cutting the defence open. They were playing quite a high line, Wolves, so Raul, he just blasted it at Jose Sarr. It looked like he thought he was offside. It was one of those. Ultimately it didn't matter in the end, but it would have made the final sort of 7 minutes a little less nervy.
Yeah, I think that would maybe be Marco's frustration here, is that there were a few chances to put this to bed. Andreas Pereira also had an effort blocked. That wasn't really Andreas's fault. I'd say I'd put that in the category of good defending. Yeah, I was particularly frustrated by the Raul missed chance, because it did look offside to the naked eye, but actually I was able to see that defender on the far side who definitely played him on, and Raul did I felt like took the chance as if he thought it wasn't going to count. And for me, I do think that, like, you know, just put it in anyway. Like, don't take any chances here, Raul. It's not his finest hour, but hey, we got through it. We actually had to dash for this train, so we missed a couple of last minutes of stoppage time. But actually, as you say, Fulham saw it out pretty well, and unless we missed anything really major in injury time, I don't think that Wolves had too many opportunities, although apparently Timothy Castagna did do a very good block.
Yeah, and also I think we had another chance, was it? No, we actually saw the Andres Pereira chance. But yeah, other than the Timothy Castagna block, it was agonising walking out. Like, we had no choice. Like, we needed to pick up bags, as you said. But trying to gauge what's happening by just the noise of the crowd from outside the stadium when you're holding on to it was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But it didn't matter in the end.
The amount of Wolves fans streaming out before the end of the game kind of gave me a bit of thought that, like, they watch Wolves every week, and if that many people are leaving, it kind of made me think that they might know best here, that maybe they're not getting back into this. I mean, the kind of topsy-turvy form this season, George, you know, it's we are going to finish in Europe, we're not going to finish in Europe, we are going to finish in Europe. I'm kind of trying to not think about Europe. I just want to finish as high up the table. I do just think, though, that this Fulham team, it's just inconsistent, but I guess we're a mid-table team at the end of the day. We're not chasing for the Premier League title. It's the nature of this division. It's every team is difficult. Every team poses its challenges. But I still just love that this Fulham team has kind of the ability to come to a tough ground. This is somewhere we haven't won since 1985. And to break those records, think how many times that Marco Silva has kind of broken these ducks throughout his tenure. You know, no win at Goodison until Marco Silva arrived. Broke the Old Trafford curse. You know, we hadn't won at Newcastle in so long. Obviously, the Stamford Bridge one. We just have this kind of no fear attitude that no matter what's come before, this Fulham team is not intimidated by anything.
Yeah, and we can beat any team in the league, which is something that I can't remember saying as a Fulham fan until you go into every game feeling like you could get something from it. And no matter what happens for the rest of the season, whatever happens at Old Trafford, like, we've already had a season that will go down as one of the greatest in our club's history. And you know, you look at the table, and I'm really hesitant, like, because obviously, as you say, it's topsy-turvy. Lose one, passports away, win one, Europe's back on the cards. But we went above Aston Villa this evening. We're 1 point within Bournemouth. We're 1 point within Brighton, which makes, you know, the trip to the Amex very interesting. A lot to play for there, and who knows what can happen. But yeah, we can take on anyone in our day. We really can.
All right, well, that'll do for the quick take. Thank you very much for watching. The train take, as we'll call it today. And the podcast will be out on Thursday with much more reaction to today's game. George, thank you.
Thank you.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and let us know what you thought of the game in the comments. You right?
Yeah, I'm glad you convinced me to come on this one. Until next time, cheers.